On this episode of the Luke Loses podcast, Lean On Me, I talk about accountability as well as reaching out for help. I let you guys know that I'm here for you. If you need to talk, you can lean on me. I hope you enjoy it. What's up, losers? I am Luke, and this is Luke Loses. Now, remember, we're losing the weight, we're losing the unhealthy lifestyle, and we're losing that negative image we have for ourselves. I have no fitness or nutrition education. Everything I talk about here is from asking questions, searching the internet, and my own personal experiences. Don't forget to go to my website, www.lukelosespodcast.com. That's got my social media, and you can listen to my podcast right there on the website. I also have the loser line. That is 323-920-LUKE or 5853. Call that number, send it a text. If you have a topic idea, a tip, a concern, you want to be a guest, you know somebody who'd be a good guest, whatever the case may be, send it there, call it in there, and I will try to address it on a future episode. If you could go over to Apple Podcast and leave me a rating and a review. You don't have to be an Apple user to access that. I created one with a Gmail account. Go there, leave me a rating and a review. I would appreciate it so much. It would help the podcast reach other people. Also, if you could share this podcast, send it to your friends, your family, share it on Facebook, tag me on Instagram. If you know somebody who could use the information that I share, also, if you know somebody who would make a great guest, send them this information. Have them contact me. I'd love to talk to them about coming on. The music you're hearing right now is by Jake Simmons and the Little Ghosts. I will link all their stuff in the description of this episode. Go give them a follow, download some of their music. You can buy their albums, including vinyl, over at bandcamp.com. If you are on Facebook, go over to Trimming the Fat Weight Loss Support Group. It is a weight loss support group that my friends Corey and Adam and myself created to help us stay accountable, to answer questions, to ask questions, to share our victories, to talk about our hard times. So check it out if you're on Facebook, Trimming the Fat Weight Loss Support Group. Request an invite in. We'd love to hear from you. I also have another announcement that I'll be making shortly. My good friend Dave Canyon from the Dumbing It Down with Dave podcast. We have an idea that we're working to release, and when that's ready, I will make that announcement. I'm really excited about that one as well. So let's just jump right into today's episode. All right, so today I want to talk about accountability and asking for help, everything that revolves around that. So first thing, accountability is, why is accountability important with weight loss? It says, by keeping a detailed record of your progress in a journal, you will stay motivated and be aware of any mistakes you've made. That's kind of what I'm doing with the podcast and my Instagram and all that. It's my accountability. And have other avenues that I use that keeps me accountable. Like MyFitnessPal, the app, I use that. And I've got my food records available to any of my friends can see it, so I can't slip up. When I'm using that proper, when I'm putting my food in, people can see that, and it holds me to that standard. But I have to be honest, and I have to put it in, and there's some days that I don't do that. And I've got the Trimming the Fat Weight Loss Support Group /podcast. I do that with Corey and Adam, and that also is a way for me to be accountable, and it's like my therapy over there as well. Like I mentioned with Dave Canyon from Dumbing It Down with Dave, him and I have an idea that we're working on for another way to be accountable. And for me, I don't know how it is for everybody, but the more open, the more honest, the more I put out into the world, the better I do. I think it's because I don't like disappointing people. So the more I put out there and tell you guys that I screwed up, it makes me want to fight more. And there's some days it's hard to get back on that track, but I want it so bad because I don't want to disappoint. I want to do good. I want to celebrate with everyone. And like I mentioned just a minute ago, the therapy. I recommend therapy to everyone. No matter what kind of spot you're in your marriage, I recommend marriage counseling or relationship counseling. For my wife and I, we were ready to call it quits. I didn't know it until recently that we were done, and we started with therapy, and it has seriously changed our relationship. We look forward to our sessions with our therapist, and she has given us tools to use when we are fighting or when we are having our bad days or when we're not communicating right. So I highly recommend therapy to everyone. My marriage is better than it's ever been, and I love it. Same thing with my therapy. I go on my own, and I can talk to my friends. I can talk to my family. I can talk to so many people. When I talk to my therapist, it's different because I don't have to worry about saying the right thing, because I'm scared again of disappointing people. So some things I might hold back to people, but with my therapist, it doesn't matter. I know he's going to be supportive. I know he's going to push me in the right direction. In the beginning, I was iffy on going to a therapist. I thought it could help, but I didn't want to tell some stranger my issues or my wife and my issues. Therapy is an awesome tool. It is an awesome outlet that I recommend. It can truly help you be an overall better person and do better day to day. I'm not saying if you don't go to therapy, you're not a good person. I'm just saying it can give you the tools to do better, and that's what I'm using it for. This one kind of jumps back into the accountability section, but it also leads into asking for help. Now, I was taught that I could ask for help, but I was also taught I'm a man and I need to figure it out on my own. I need to be manly, and it's not manly to ask for help. It's not manly to admit I have issues. That was the world's upbringing. Now, my dad wasn't an emotional person. My dad didn't show any kind of emotion like I want to say normal people do. He showed his love and his caring for us in different ways, and that played a part in it as well. I felt like I couldn't ask for help because I would disappoint Dad. I've talked about it plenty of times. These Facebook groups, they are amazing because there's so many of them out there for specific things. You know, you've got binge eating, you've got men weight loss, you've got women weight loss, you've got any kind of issue that you have with food is out there and you can find it. And that is amazing. And the people in there know what you're going through. The people in there are going through it or have gone through it, and they encourage you to post your struggles. Talking about the Facebook groups, the Facebook group that I found that led me into this 12-step program, I'm just going to say it. I haven't said it, I don't think, in the whole podcast, but it's Overeaters Anonymous. And it's completely free. It's like AA or NA, but for people with food issues, whether it's bulimia, anorexia, binge eating, grazing, restricting, anything to do with food, you're welcome there. Like I said, it's just like Alcoholics Anonymous. You go to these meetings. I go on Zoom and they have a speaker and then they open the floor to shares. You get like 3 minutes to share, and it's amazing. And I'm so glad I found it. I want to share it with other people. My close friends, I recommend them and I tell them, check it out. This is amazing. For me, it's not just about food anymore. It's about being a better person and becoming better and doing better every day. The food is just a part of it. So I'm working the steps in this Overeaters Anonymous. And the reason I haven't brought it up before or said it before is in the program, they say that they're not connected with anything, any social media or any of that. I've also heard it being said that if I announce to the world that I am abstinent in Overeaters Anonymous and I mess up, people might see it as Overeaters doesn't work, but I want to talk about it. I support it. I don't represent it. Like I don't work for them. I don't, but I support it, and I want other people to seek the help that they need. Check it out. And if you work the steps, it'll work. If you work the program, it'll work for you. It will help you. If you need it, check it out. OA.org is where you would go. There's a Facebook group as well. I'll link that in the description. It's Overeaters Support Group on Facebook. And that's how I found it. Again, asking for help is a huge part of success. There's different ways to do that. Like you can go on the Facebook groups. You can reach out to a friend or a family member. Like I said, I've done all of this, right? So I've reached out to tons of people saying, hey, come to the gym with me. I need somebody to come to the gym with me. And that's because I can't do it on my own. It's hard for me to go. It's hard for me to keep at it. And if I have somebody going with me, it's a lot easier. Now that I have somebody going to the gym with me, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I don't want to let that other person down. But I've had to ask tons of people to come with me to find the ones that have came to the gym with me, or the ones that have tried to go on this weight loss journey with me. A lot of people want it, but they don't want to work for it. A lot of people want it, but they're afraid to put in the work. They're afraid to make the change. They're afraid what they'll have to give up. And that's where I was for a long time. I wanted to lose weight, but I wanted it to just happen. I didn't want to give up my fast food. I didn't want to give up my all-night snacking. But I had to. And when you can find somebody that is willing to do that with you, you guys can work off each other. You can bounce back and forth. But we have to remember that I saw this on Facebook, and I really liked it. My buddy Alan posted it. It said, just because they're in your circle doesn't mean they're in your corner. And that's one way to look at it. It's not saying that the people that aren't in your corner aren't good friends. It's just that's not their thing. It's not what they want. You have to find people who want what you want. And that's kind of difficult, especially with people that have kids or a work schedule or whatever the case may be. It's hard to find somebody that can work with you that wants the same thing that you want. So don't get discouraged if it takes you 10 people to get a yes, that they'll come to the gym with you, or they'll be your accountability buddy. And there are other options. There are accountability coaches, and I've worked with accountability coaches before, and I absolutely loved it. It worked for me. Again, I didn't want to let the coach down. So when I was working with him, I lost, I believe, like 120 pounds. And it was just because I didn't want him to see me screwing up. I would have gave up 100 pounds ago. I didn't want to let him down. And I was paying for it. It was a service that I was purchasing. So again, money really does motivate. Real quick, a little sidetrack. I can't remember the name of it, but I seen a post on Facebook of a betting app where you could bet on yourself. You could say, I want to lose 70 pounds in 12 months, and I'm going to put $10 a month on me to lose that. And if you lose it in that time frame, you make a little bit of cash. But if you don't, you lose that money. And the thought process is money motivates. So if I can find that, I'll post that in the link. I haven't tried it. They aren't a sponsor or anything. It's just something I thought was cool that I might check out because I don't like spending money on things. Well, I do like spending money. I don't like spending money on things that I have to. This wouldn't be a have to, but it would be losing. It's a whole nother discussion. I'm getting way too far off here. Going back, accountability. Find somebody who can help you. Somebody that can stay there in your corner, that can motivate you and push you. And be that for somebody else. Ask for help. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, look up these online coaches, whatever the case may be, therapy, and ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. because it's not a sign of you being weak, and it can really help you. It can give you the tools to get you to your goal. I want to throw this out there. If you need somebody to talk to, if you want to reach out to somebody, if you want help and you don't want to post on Facebook and you don't want to reach out to therapy or whatever, I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm just a normal guy, but you can reach out to me. You can send me an email, lukeloses@gmail.com. You can go to my website, lukelosespodcast.com, and leave me a message there. You can call the loser line. I don't have it in front of me, but it was at the beginning of the episode. And Facebook, Instagram, wherever, reach out to me. I'm not going to judge you. I've been there. I'm struggling, and I'm not going to act like I don't have these issues, because I still do. Like, I fight every day to make myself eat healthy. I fight every day to make myself get up and do whatever the case may be. But I can listen, and I can give you the tips and the tools that I've had given to me and the things that I know about. So if you need somebody to talk to, if you got any kinds of questions, reach out. I will put you in the direction that I feel has worked for me, and hopefully it can help you too. So I'm going to end it here. I will post in the description of this episode a couple of the different things that I've talked about, whether it's the Facebook groups or accountability coaches. I know a couple of them. If they're okay with it, I'll post it in there as well. I hope this episode was able to help you in some way. And if it did, if you could go over to Apple Podcast, leave me a review and a rating, I would appreciate it so much. I would love you forever. I would love you even more if you shared this podcast. I'm just kidding. I love you all the same. If you could share this podcast on your Facebook, on your Instagram, tag me, send it to a friend, whatever the case may be, I would appreciate it so much. Don't forget to go to my website. It is www.lukelosespodcast.com. You can find my social media there, as well as all the platforms that this podcast is on. And again, the loser line, 323-920-LUKE or 5853. Send me a text, shoot me a voice message, let me know what you think, tell me your topic ideas, your tips, your concerns, whatever the case may be. Like I said in this episode, if you want to reach out and you want to talk, leave me a message and I will contact you. Don't forget to check out Trimming the Fat Weight Loss Support Group on Facebook. And we have an Instagram as well and a YouTube, but you can find it all on Facebook. And the music that you're hearing right now is by Jake Simmons and the Little Ghost. I will post all their information in the description of this episode. Check them out. If you like this song, you'll love the rest of them. So that is that. As always, stay positive, do the work, trust the process, and I will see you Friday for my weigh-in.